Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. So, we start right now. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate grim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you for this 11th chapters study in this Bhakti Shastri course. So we have successfully completed 10 chapters, and now the 11th chapter is starting up. The chapter name is the Universal Form. Why this chapter is starting? Because Krishna spoke something in the 10th chapter and it was having some difficulty to understand, or Arjuna wanted to know further. So 10th chapter, first 4 shlokas, which were there spoken by the Lord. After hearing the Krishna say in chapter 10, it was 10.1 to 4, I feel, he pervades and supports the entire universe. Arjuna want to know all pervasive form of Krishna. So that's why the universal form, the chapter name is, where Krishna will be showing the universal Rupa or Vishwa Rupa here. So the Vishwa Rupa Darshana, this is the chapter name. So we will be starting the reading of this chapter 11, the universal form. Lord Krishna grants Arjuna divine vision and reveals his spectacular unlimited form as the cosmic universe. Thus he conclusively establishes his divinity. Krishna explains that his own all-beautiful human-like form is the original form of Godhead. One can perceive this form only by pure devotional service. Even though the Krishna is showing the universal form, but he is at the end shlokas, 7-8 shlokas at the end of this chapter, he is mentioning about my 200 form, which is Shamasundara Rupa, is the original form of Godhead, and one can perceive this form only by the pure devotional service. So that's why the next chapter is a pure devotional service, the devotional service. So it is a connection. So how one can do a devotional service, that might be the question in Arjuna's heart. So the next chapter will be the devotional service. So every chapter is having some link. It is a link. It is not just spoken haphazardly, but Krishna is making some link within these chapters. So that's why Acharyas have made or segregated these chapters. This is a universal form. Then the next one is the devotional service. The previous one was the opulences of Lord. So like that, the Acharyas has segregated to understand us in better way. Yeah. Verses 1 to 8, Arjuna's request and Krishna's description of the universal form. Verses 9 to 30, Sanjaya's description of the universal form. Verses 31 to 34, the battle is already won by Krishna and Arjuna. should, like the battle is already won by Krishna and Arjuna should only become Krishna's instrument and take the credit. Verses 35 to 46, Arjuna's prayers, and verses 47 to 55, only the pure devotees can see Krishna's two-armed form. So this is a segregation, the sections within this chapter. We will be going further. Verses 1 to 8. Somebody can read this.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, may I read?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, please go on reading.
Arjuna's request and Krishna's description of the universal form. After hearing how Krishna pervades and supports the entire universe, Arjuna wants to see the Lord's all-pervasive form. Arjuna, although acknowledging that the two-armed form of Krishna is supreme, requests Krishna to show him that all-pervading form of which Krishna has previously spoken of in chapter 10, verses 1 to 4. Text 1.
Yeah. We will be reciting this text. Text 1, Arjuna Vacha. Mad anugrahaya paramam.
Mad anugrahaya paramam.
Guhyam adhyatma sadnitam.
Guhyam adhyatma samnitam.
Yatvayatwakam kastena.
Tatyayakvam vachastena.
Yoho yam vigato mama.
Moho yam
vigato mama.
Translation.
Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled.
Yeah, so my illusion has dispelled. Why? This is the confidential subjects has been spoken. The first one is the 9th chapter, you spoke it. Then the 10th, you spoke about the opulences. Now that's why. Hare Krishna. So after speaking the confidential knowledge, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitramidam Uttamam, then the Arjuna first time is speaking about that. I agree that because of this confidential subjects and your opulences, my illusion has now completely dispelled. What was the illusion of the Arjuna? What was the illusion of the Arjuna? Anybody would like to give a try? What was the illusion of the Arjuna?
Killing of his relatives.
Yeah, he thinks that he is doing that. Okay, he is killing Kauravas, his brothers, and his Pitamaha and his Gurudev.
Okay. Any other try? Hare Krishna. Anybody would like to give a try?
He will be bound by the karma of the actions of the war, basically.
Which were the 5 reasons he was speaking in first sections? Anybody can give a try of this?
Right. The project,
Can I try?
the adulteration, the project.
Compassion, fear of sinful reaction, loss of family
One
tradition,
devotee at a time through.
loss of enjoyment.
Hare Krishna, one devotee at a time, so I can hear.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Compassion.
Yeah,
Fear of sinful activities, sinful reactions.
yeah,
Destruction of family tradition.
okay.
Indecision.
Indecision. Indecision because of what?
Because of Kula Dharma or Kshatriya Dharma. So that is in 2.5, 2.6. He gets confusion whether he should, what is the enjoyment or what is the happiness. There is no gain in victory, because even in victory, everybody is slain. And in defeat, anyway, he will not have any benefit. So what is the benefit of fighting? That was his confusion. So first one was compassion. Second one was sinful reactions. Second one was loss of enjoyment. Third one was sinful reactions. Fourth one was destruction of family traditions. And fifth one is indecision.
First one is the compassion. Yeah.
Yes.
So the compassion happens for whom? For the
For
others.
those
Like,
who are in bodily, this one, if their illusion is that they are this body, then and everybody is related to them through the body.
but I'm just asking like the further question. The compassion is for whom?
For the family members, for relatives, for friends.
Generally for others. It is for the
Yes.
others. Then the
Yes.
second one is for, like the second reason.
Second one is loss of enjoyment.
No enjoyment in victory.
Generally, the enjoyment is for whom?
For
For self.
himself.
For oneself. First one is for others. Second one, he was thinking of himself. The third one was?
Karma, sinful reaction.
It's
Third
for
one,
future.
thinking about himself again.
Yes.
That the sinful reactions are coming.
Right.
Fourth one.
Fourth one, destruction of family tradition.
Society.
So again, the society he is thinking about. So he was
Yes.
thinking about society. So he was confused about to oneself and the society, oneself and society. He was giving the reasons like that one by one. Society ko ye taklif hoga, then it will be the sinful reactions over me. I would like to show the compassion towards others. Then what will actually happen about my enjoyment? And it was clearly was there on the bodily platform, the reasons were. So that's why initially the toggle was there between the society and oneself. And then afterwards, he admitted that I am not able to make any decisions. Indecision because of the bodily conditioning, the bodily platform. So what the confidential knowledge gave him, it was like to come out of this bodily platform and to work for the Krishna. The spiritual things he has to work for. So that he is admitting that, okay, then he asked, like the confidential knowledge has been clear, imparted to him. Then after that, the vibhutis were being spoken. So now I am really thorough with your instructions and heard about you. And my illusion has been dispelled that I should not work on the bodily platform. So that he was clear about. He was still, it was like the devotional service aspect. He was not that much clear. So that's why the whole 12th chapter was there for him again, to give a final thing or the final blow over it. But the Jnana and Sankhya was clear to him now. So Jnana and Sankhya can be given by the or can be acquired by the confidential knowledge. But the devotional service, which is more far further than the confidential knowledge, we can just say it. The text 2. Bhavapya hi bhutanam.
Bhavapyayo hi
Bhutana.
Shruto vistaraso maya.
Shruto vistarasomaya.
Tattva kamala patraksha.
Kamala patraksha.
Mahatmyam apichavyayam.
Mahatmyayam apichavyayam.
Translation and commentary, somebody can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, shall I read?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
O lotus eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Commentary. In the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, it was described about every living entity. What is the body? What is the soul? How to remove sorrow due to grieving for what it is not worth of grief. And in the second chapter, 6 chapters, up to this point, Arjuna heard Krishna's amazing glories, that he is the origin and dissolution of the creation of all the universe. He has heard that Krishna is inexhaustible, the ruler, and all Prakriti is under him. He has heard all these things. Hare Krishna.
So he has heard till now that his vibhutis are unlimited. He is the source of everything and he is there in everything. How to ekatvena prathakvena bahuda vishwato mukham, that he heard about that, how these people are worshipping him, ekatvena prathakvena bahuda vishwato mukham, how one can see the Krishna everywhere. So this, all the things, he is thorough with that. Now what is that? It is like you spoke about that you are all pervasive. So I can know that how you can pervasive Krishna. You are here and how you pervade everywhere. You are there in front of me. So how you pervade everywhere, that I would like to know. Evam etad yathatvam Atmanam Parameshwara
Atmanam Parameshwara
Rastumichhami te rupam
Drashtumichhami te rupam
Aishwaryam Purushottama.
Aishwaryam Purushottama.
Hare Krishna. O greatest of all personalities of supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Krishna has already explained in chapter 10 that there is no way of understanding Krishna's actual position unless one hears from him. Arjuna has heard of Krishna's Sasesha unending glories. He only heard about a little of them. They were described 82 different opulences of Krishna in previous chapter. But Krishna doesn't have only 82 opulences. His opulences are unlimited, Asesha. Arjuna only heard about Krishna's opulence a little bit, and now he wants to see that form of unlimited opulences. He has become restless to see because he has already heard. In this verse, Krishna is called called by Arjuna as Parameshwara and Purushottama. Purushottama means best of personalities, and Parameshwara means Supreme Lord. Arjuna is saying you are both the best of personalities and Supreme Lord. So you know why I am asking you to show me this universal form, although I am your devotee. And why? Why is Arjuna asking this? Srila Prabhupada answers to this question in his purport. But the Lord can understand also that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjuna did not have any personal desire for confirmation. Krishna also understands that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to set a criterion for in the future there would be so many impostors who would pose themselves as incarnations of God. The people therefore should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to confirm his claim to people.
So last chapter 82 vibhutis were being described, and Arjuna just thought of that, I want to see the movie of this. Now actually, You just describe, but I would like to visualize. I would like to see that, how it is like that. You are the best of all, but how you are all pervading and how you are the best of all. So that I would like to see in a movie form. So that Arjuna is requesting that please show me, please give me that vision to see that. Yeah. Please go on, ready?
By hearing the previous instructions of Krishna, Arjuna's illusion has been dispelled, and he realized Krishna's inexhaustible glories. Although he accepts the two-armed form of Krishna as supreme, he still wants to see how Krishna has entered into this cosmic manifestation. According to Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura, Arjuna says, "Whatever you have said about yourself, such as I am supporting the whole universe by one of my portions, is indeed true. I do not have any doubt about it. But still desiring to be fully satisfied, I desire to see that form displaying your powers. I now want to see with my eyes that fragmental form of yours by which you support this world." And another reason for Arjuna's request is revealed by Srila Prabhupada in his Prabhupada's 2 verses 1 to 3. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being, as a friend of his, but as the source of everything. Arjuna is very enlightened and is glad that he has such a great friend as Krishna. But now he is thinking that although he may accept Krishna as the source of everything, others may not. So in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he is requesting Krishna in this chapter to show his universal form. Arjuna wants to see the universal form to set a criterion for others in the future. For others in the future, there would be so many impostors who would pose themselves as incarnations of God. The people who should be the people therefore should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to confirm his claim to people. Hare Krishna.
So Arjuna, as per the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Arjuna is asking to show the universal form for the others' benefit. That in the future, some imposters will be claiming that we are the one. So Krishna has not just claimed it, but Krishna has proved it. So if you just would like to say that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, show your universal form. Show it. If you can just show at least one mouth, then we can say it is your universal form. From one mouth to another mouth, 2 mouths, if you are showing it, we can just believe that you are also no less. But nobody can do it. How a person can do this? So it is for the Lokamangalam. It is for the Lokamangalam Arjuna is asking. It is not his own query on behalf of the conditioned soul who may challenge Krishna's supremacy. So the Arjuna himself is taking a role of the conditioned soul and saying that I am not asking for myself, but there may be some people in the future, they may challenge your supremacy, oh Lord. So that's why it is better to have this universal form to be shown. So there will be not any doubt. But still the people, those who can take the doubt, they will be taking the doubts like that. But it is moreover for the devotee to preach. Oh, Krishna has shown the universal form. So see, he is not just speaking, but he is showing also. So it is not for the atheist, it is not for any ordinary people, but it is for the devotees, those who are into preaching, for them to show that the evidences, oh, Krishna has shown this, whether you can show this. So by that, it is more like for the devotees to get in help by this chapter, to challenge the atheists, those who are claiming themselves as the Supreme Personality of God. Text 4. Manyase yadi tatchakyam. Manyase yadi tatchakyam.
Manyase yadi tatchakyam.
Maya drashtum iti prabho.
Maya drishtam iti prabho.
Yogeshwara dato me tvam.
Yogeshwaro tato me tvam
Darshayatmanam avyayam.
mamam avyayam.
Translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I will read it. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. Commentary. Srila Prabhupada explains in this purport, every living entity is only a spiritual spark. Therefore, it is not possible to see or understand the Supreme Lord. Arjuna, as a devotee, does not depend on his speculative strength. Rather, he admits his limitations as a living entity and acknowledges Krishna's inestimable position. Arjuna could understand that for a living entity, it is not possible to understand the unlimited infinite. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. The word Yogeshwara is also very significant here because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. Thus, it is not possible for persons who depend on the strength of their mental speculations to see Krishna. Arjuna knows that Krishna is not obliged to show his universal form. That's why he says, if you think I'm qualified, then show me.
So it is the right approach from the junior to the senior. That is, sometimes the junior's language, the demeanor, when he is approaching a senior, that it matters. The seniors may be having some resources, something, and we are going to ask that whether I can get it or whether you can show me this. Prabhu, can you just show it? If you are saying like that, but the language, the toning, here this can you is there, but it is like it is somewhat silent. And Prabhu also spoken, but it was like the Prabhu is spoken as that he is our servant. So the way it has been spoken, the tone and the dialect, all the things matters. And the whole, overall, the personality itself, the person who is speaking and what is his character. The character is how we can say the character here. The comes it. See, there is a way it builds your character. It builds our character. First, the thoughts. Then the thoughts, if you are not watching your thought, it will come into the words. If you are not careful of using the words, then it will turn into the actions. If you are not grooming your actions or you are not caring for the actions, then it will become habits. And if the habits are not worked upon, then it will be idolized as a character. And then it will be finally destined to be a destiny. So the thoughts, words, action, then the habits, then the character. So if such a rude character person is asking, even if he is asking in a very low voice, very submissively, but it may be considered in a heart to heart that, oh no, he is having some different intentions. And even if a very soft character person, soft speaking person who is very soft in the character, it will be considered, like that. No, it was that I heard something different. No, I think he is not wrong. Whatever I heard, it was wrong. So that way, the character plays a very vital role whenever your inquiries are there. But if an unknown person is inquiring, then these things are very important. How you are speaking, then what language you are speaking, then what is your like the body language also while speaking. The whole thing matters. But generally, whenever the queries or some resources or some help has been asked from a junior to senior, the senior sees the first who is that person. So that is very important, that how we are daily, how we are behaving. By that, actually, our needs will be satisfied. Please go on, ready.
Arjuna requests that if the Lord thinks he will be able to behold it, Krishna might show his unlimited universal form to him. This humble attitude is required for attaining the favor of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport to verse 4. Arjuna could understand that for a living entity, it is not possible to understand the unlimited infinite. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. The word Yogeshwara is also very significant here because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in the devotional service.
So Krishna himself told Arjuna in the 10th chapter that nobody knows me and nobody knows me in full. Somebody may be knowing, even the demigods are not knowing, Lord Brahma, Shiva is not knowing, the Saptarishis are not knowing me. This is like, how then any human being can know me? So to know Krishna means what? To serve him, and then the Krishna will be giving some revelations in your heart. I often give the example. This is like outside people like this example, that if a person is there in a company, say like walk-in person, like the person is walking to the company and is trying to meet a boss, or is trying to meet the company owner, and he is not carrying anything. He is not actually carrying the biodata, and the boss somehow or other, he just waits outside, and he is looking that when the boss is, or the owner of the company comes inside the company, that time I can beg and says that I need some job. And it happens that 3 days he is waiting outside the company, and finally the boss actually looks after him and says that, what do you want? Then this poor guy says that, I would like to have some job in your company, or wherever you just place me, please place me. And then that boss will not be giving very high level job to that person. And this person also is not eligible to ask in the first meeting only that, what is your wife name, sir? It's like, it is very confidential things he is asking. What is your wife name, sir? Then this boss will be saying that, get lost. What is that? You are asking me my personal details about? Or he cannot ask a question that, oh, what is your earning? And where is your bank balance? How much it is there in your bank? But the thing that the boss, out of mercy, he will be keeping, if he is not asking such foolish questions. the people in general, they would like to ask the confidential things about Krishna in early days, in early stage. What? Ras Leela, Ras Panchodhyay. Please tell us about the Ras Panchodhyay. No, it is not. It is not. You should not. It is not your cup of tea to ask this thing, and you will not able to digest what that personality is going to speak. The Krishna is not speaking this Rasa Panchadhyay in first canto only. In the 10th canto, it has been revealed in the Bhagavatam. So that person will be having some job that, okay, the company owner says that in my bungalow, you please appoint him as a security guard, and he just his seva will be to open the gate and close the gate. That's all. I don't want him inside my home. He will be there in at the security gate. And if he is not working as per the expectations, throw him out. But this person proves his loyalty, and after 2 years, the boss acknowledge him. Oh, you are there still, you are opening me, and you are closing the door, and you are knowing that. Then this personality will be knowing some details of the boss. What is that? What details he will be knowing about? He will be knowing about what my boss's car number, what time he lives, what time he comes generally, and who are his friends to whom we are allowing to go inside. And one day the boss says that, okay, that security guard can come inside and give me some letters now. Whatever the letter boxes are there, and so he can come inside. And he will be appointing that particular security guard only who has worked for at least 1 or 2 years with him. And so this boy who is as a security guard, then he will be now started coming inside the home. And then while coming inside the home, then he just says that it is like, so like the garden is there, and boss where he is sitting in a chair in a porch, how much like the cleanliness is maintained. And then that security guard says, actually I know the gardening, so whether I can get some gardening job also. So the boss says that, okay, yeah, you can come inside the garden and do the gardening work also. And there, from the security guard to the garden inside, he is now inside the bungalow. And there also, what he will be knowing, that what time my boss is doing some exercises in a porch, what time he is doing a jogging or running, that is it. When he is coming inside, now the additional information has come to him. By proving his service and proving the loyalty, he has got some additional service. And one day, it is like cooked up story by me, but it is like where it is you can just relish it out. That then one day the boss was in panic, and his cook was not feeling well, and he was looking for somebody who can cook it. This boy says that, boss, I was a cook in a hotel, but due to some reasons I was jobless, so that time you just adopt me. If you give me a chance, then I will be cooking for you right now. Then this boy will be appointed as a cook also for that particular day, and he is cooking for the boss, and he will be asking the cook that what my boss will prefer to have and what time. So that day or the next day, 2-3 days, he is cooking, and he is knowing more additional information. What exactly the boss likes it, what is his family liking it, and who is taking the breakfast. And while serving the breakfast, he will be knowing, and he will be coming across the boss wife, the kids, and says that, okay, these are the family. And then out of mercy, the boss will be saying that actually inko serving karo, my wife is also there with me, and he will be taking out the name of the wife also. That time he will be knowing the name of the wife. It is like 3-4 years, 5 years showing off that the service attitude, then he will be knowing. And one day the boss may be saying that this is like one thing you can do, that this is like with the accountant, you can just go to the bank, and whatever the accountant is saying, that you can just drop the check. And if that person is he's having some skills of the accountancy, then the boss will be giving some service about the accountancy also. And then it has been proven that this person is loyal, then the account details will be shared also. That okay, itna 10 lakh rupees ka check डालो मेरे बैंक में, and what the balance comes, वो अपना passbook भर के भी लिखियो. Then the passbook he can see that okay, कितना account में कितना पैसा है, क्या चल रहा है. So that the confidential services or the confidential matters, one can come to know as per the loyalty and the services offered by the person. Then only he can ask. Then only he can, without asking, only he will be knowing the things. So that is the way we can serve Krishna. We should not ask, oh Krishna, what is your confidential things when you go to this particular Radha Kunda, what is the prahar and all this. Krishna will make us know. We have to serve. We have to serve first. What is our service? As per the service, Krishna will be revealing. And whenever the chance comes, that time we can grab the opportunity and advance through a different ways. Like whenever the service opportunities are there in different festivals, please take it, the advantage. So where we will be going close and close of the Krishna's inner arenas. And one day, it's like whenever we are there in this, I just remember that when I came first time, I was having this inclination to cook for Krishna. And that first time the form was been filled up, that what is your skills in this? I wrote down, I would like to cook for Krishna. Only one thing I just wrote it. And then I was after my predecessor and says that, oh, when I will get a chance to cook for Krishna. Then he says that you can do one thing, you can do in assistance of the sabji cutting. No, I wouldn't. I am a cook. I know that how to cook it. No. Still, if you are knowing how to cook it, then still you have to do an assistant part first, and then after some months you will be allowed to cook, because you may not be knowing what is the standard of cooking. So to prove one's service attitude, the loyalty, and then the Krishna will be revealing as per our loyalty and the service attitude, the innermost leelas of the Krishnas. Text 5. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan
Uvacha.
Ashtame Partha Rupani.
Pasyame Partha Rupani.
Tatashotha Sahasrasha.
Tatashotha Sahasrasha.
Nana Vidhani Divyani.
Nana Vidhani Divyani.
Nana Varna Kritini cha.
Nana Varna Kritini cha.
Translations.
Hare Krishna, may I read it, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna.
The Supreme Personality of the Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, O son of Prutta, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied, divine and multicolored forms. That is translation. And the detailed meaning, Krishna reveals his universal form in which all his opulences, hundreds and thousands of varied, divine and multicolored forms, the different manifestations of all the demigods, everything moving and non-moving, and all the wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard before could be seen in one place.
So what must be that? The universal form, Virata Rupa.
It is like
What?
it is like an entire universe is crushed into a small thing and then shown in a small video, something like that, which we are seeing now. It's something like that, Prabhuji.
The Virata Rupa. And then what was the situation of the Arjuna after that? We will be seeing that also in the verses to come. After seeing the Virat Rupa, now the like the Sanjay will be describing that after some time how the Virat Rupa was, and then afterwards, so after seeing this Virat Rupa, then Krishna and Arjuna's relationship changed. Second chapter, 7th shloka. What was that? Karpanya dosho pahata swabha pruchhami tvam dharma sammooda cheta yashre yasyam nishitam bruhitanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Here, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava pruchhami tvam. Krishna is been referred by Arjuna as a tvam, even though tvam means you. It is not other arthi, it is just you. Are Krishna tera roop dikhana. Means like even though means like tumhara ke liye bola bhi hoga, tumhara roop dikhao. But tvam ka matlab, this is like the twam's meaning is like that in a Sanskrit. It is not very tvam and bhavan. Bhavan means it is other arthi. It is with the respect. But here Arjuna has accepted that I am your shishya, a disciple, and spoke also, but still it was that friendliness was still there with the words Tvam. Now, after this Vishwarupa, Krishna will be referred by Arjuna as a Bhavan. Hey Baba, both is like very difficult to understand, and you are really huge. Krishna, aap bahut hi bade hai. This will be the language of the Arjuna, and he is mesmerized. Text 6. Pashyaditan vasun rudran. Ashvino marutastatha bahuni yadrashita purvani pasyascharya bharata.
Or best of Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. Commentary. Krishna keeps saying, Pasya, see this, see that. Krishna also says, no one has ever seen this before. Krishna showed something like this to Duryodhana when he went as a messenger of Yudhishthira to plead with them for peace settlement. Krishna and Duryodhana had an horrible plan. They said Krishna horrible plan. Sorry. Karna and Duryodhana had a horrible plan. They said Krishna has come on behalf of Yudhishthira and Arjuna. Let us teach him something. They plotted to tie him up with ropes and put him in a prison just before he was going to leave. At that time, Krishna showed part of his universal form and he expanded himself, and they were all frightened. But Krishna was laughing in a very amazing way.
So in this Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumar. These are the demigods were mentioned. And Krishna has mentioned that I am Adityas, like I am the Vishnu of the Adityas, then Vasus maybe. I am the best of the Vasus of this Vasu. So this he has mentioned it, and now he is showing it. That see, have you seen the Vasus? Have you seen the Adityas? So these are all there in me. I'm the best of them, and I am all of them. I'm the best of them. I am all of them. It is all the things are from my manifestations only. Please go on, ready.
The Lord emphasizes that this form has never been seen before. The universal form shown to Duryodhana was not the same as universal form Krishna reveals to Arjuna.
Text 7. Ihaikastam Jagat Krishnam Pasyadya Sacharacharam Mama Dehe Gudakesha
Mama Dehe Gudakesha
Yachanya Drashtumichyasi.
Yachanya Drashtamuchiti.
Yeah. Please go on.
Can we continue?
Oh,
Prabhu?
Arjuna. Yeah, please continue, Prabhu. Please take it up. Please take up, Prabhu.
Krishna,
Prabhu.
O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in the body of mind. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here complete in one place. Because Arjuna could not, see this form with his eyes, Krishna gives him suitable divine eyes. Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport to Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.24. A pure devotee of Lord, being unaccustomed to looking into such a mundane, gigantic form of Lord, requires special vision for this purpose. The Lord therefore favored Arjuna with special vision for looking into his Virat Rupa, which is described in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the commentary from Bhagavatam. In his commentary to this verse, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura poses and answers the following questions. Why should Arjuna, who directly perceives with his own eyes the sweetness of the Supreme Person, be unable to perceive a partial expansion of the Lord and need to receive divine eyes? Some explain this by saying that those most excellent eyes which perceive the sweetness of Supreme Person's human pastimes are exclusive in their scope of perception. They do not perceive the opulence of Lord's godlike pastimes. After all, a tongue tasting crystal sugar cannot simultaneously experience the taste of unrefined ghar or sugar cane.
So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad is Rasik Acharya. He is giving the explanation that the crystal fine sugar is like the 200 form of the Lord, which is the loving pastime form of the Lord. And this is unrefined good, or the sugar candy, which is very raw and very cumbersome to see and all this. So that is the sweetness form that devotees are accustomed to see that. But what the Lord's greatness form, the devotees are not that much accustomed to see. Sweetness, so that's why the Gita, some places or maximum places, Gita is explaining the greatness of the Lord more. And the Bhagavatam, especially the 10th canto, is elaborating over the sweetness of the Lord. So the greatness and the sweetness of the Lord has to be understood. But the greatness can be heard and a sweetness can be seen. But generally the people would like to hear the sweetness and see the greatness. It is outside world, the people are would like to go for the movies where the extraordinary action movies and all these things. But Krishna's pastimes in a 10th canto also, it is a greatness also been shown in some pastimes where the demons were being killed. But this greatness was making more sweetness and or increasing the sweetness of the Lord. But this universal form is more the greatness of the Lord, where the Krishna is showing his Aishwaryas in a 10th chapter and in a 7th chapter also. So it is a greatness of the Lord. By hearing the greatness, one can develop the sweetness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, can I ask a question, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please ask.
Prabhuji, I was just wondering, Prabhuji. So in the 10th chapter, Krishna speaks about like amongst this, I am this, and so on. And after that, in the 11th chapter, he shows his universal form. Is there any like correlation or an order of doing it that way, Prabhuji? Like first talking like amongst these, I am this, and then showing the universal form, something like that?
See, Krishna in the 10th chapter, first 4 shlokas, I think. Anybody can quote this 4 shlokas or the translation of that? 10.1 to 4. Somebody would like to go for the translation. Where the Arjuna, where the Krishna is saying that it is, I am all pervasive or something like that. So that's why how the Arjuna was having this query. I'm seeing you here in front of me, how you are all pervasive then. So that was the query was been answered in the 11th chapter. And I am amongst this, I am that, I am among that, I am this one. So like that Krishna was making the statement, but now the Krishna is saying that all of them are in me only. So that one shloka comes in 8th chapter where the contradictions were happening. This all things are there in me, but I am not in them. So that 11th chapter is making a visible picture of that. That one particular shloka was there in 8th chapter where we have come across that the contradictions apparent 8.4 to 9 or 9 to 13 or something like that. This apparent contradictions where the Krishna was speaking about. I'm in them, but they are not in me. So they are in me, I'm not in them. So that part the Krishna is now proving that all the personalities are there in me, but I'm not in them. This whole material world is there in me, but I'm not there in this world because I'm not part of that. So that this is the connection of the 8th chapter and the 10th chapter, where Krishna is showing now. Krishna is not speaking now, Krishna is showing it. He is giving a proof of that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, one more question, if I may ask, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, so I heard that this universal form is also temporary. When everything about the Supreme Lord is eternal, it's transcendental, why this universal form is considered to be temporary, Prabhuji?
See, this
or is that understanding wrong? Or is the understanding that the universal form is temporary itself wrong, Prabhuji?
it is a good understanding. It is like it is a right understanding. This universal form is a temporary, but this world is also temporary. This material world is also temporary, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
So this
Just
material, this is like the form of this material world, where in the Bhagavatam it comes that where are my eyes? This is my eyes. These are my ears. These are my hands. Where in the material world the trees are the trees in this material world are my hairs on the body. The rivers are my eyes, or something like that. It is been mentioned there. So this, why it is temporary? Because this material world is also temporary. So where you can see me everywhere in the universal form, Bahuda Vishwato Mukham, but it is a temporary way, because this world is also temporary. It is not a Shashwat. It is a Shashwat, but it is a temporary. It is manifesting and unmanifesting. This world is manifesting and unmanifesting. So that way it is temporary. The manifestation is temporary, unmanifestation is also temporary. It is happening always. So that's why the universal form, which is of this whole material creation, the elements are. So that is, this demigods are also temporary, na? They are manifesting, they are unmanifesting also. So that's why it is temporary. Yes.
Prabhuji, this is a very nice understanding for me. Just to clarify, Prabhuji. So even the Lord is in that sense temporary when he comes on the earth to execute his earthly pastimes. Is that understanding okay, Prabhuji?
See, the Lord is manifesting, unmanifesting. This Lord, so that's why it is appearance and disappearance. It is not birth and death for the Lord. It is appearances and disappearances. So that's the word itself is saying that it is appearing. Now, the sun has disappeared in Hyderabad, also in Pune. Disappeared. That doesn't mean that the sun is vanished. Sun is there in, I feel, in America. Some places it is there. They are seeing now. Since the sun is moving, sun is a temporary, but it is, for us it is eternal. Since we are keeping in mind that this material world is eternal and this whole thing, but it is like the sun is revolving around earth. So that's why we are able to see and we are not able to see. Sometimes we are not able to see the sun, sometimes we are able to see. In the morning, just like when the sun is appearing, that time we can see. So the same way the Lord is there. Lord is playing the pastimes in every universes. In this universe, he has played the pastime 500 years back. He appeared and he disappeared. He will be appearing again. So that is the way we can see the Lord. It is not Lord's appearance and disappearance is always there.
Prabhuji, if I were to think as a comparison, Prabhuji, between the Lord's universal form and his form when he was performing his earthly pastimes, what is the difference, Prabhuji? They are just same?
Again, you please ask a question. I'm not getting what you asked.
Prabhuji, if just for an understanding, if it is appropriate to compare, what is the difference between the Lord's universal form and his form as he appeared as Krishna or Rama, or for that matter in any other incarnation?
There is a lot, much of differences are there, like Lord Ram and Krishna and the universal form. The devotees don't appreciate that much the universal form. They can see everything in relation with the Lord only. but they are not worshipping the universal form. It is somewhat impersonal. The universal form, if some Vishwato Mukham, there's a Vishwato Mukham, how we can see that? So like it is very lofty subject to see the face of the Lord in the universe. Better we can have the form of the Lord where the Krishna was there. When the Krishna appeared, he showed the form. Or else we will be worshipping something, mountains and all. That is not recommended. That is like to show the greatness of the Lord. It is we can just hear about the universal form. But to worship, we have to worship the 200 forms of the Lord, where he appeared in as a Lord Ram or Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Krishna himself, like that. So that is not that it is not advised that the universal form has to be worshipped by the devotees. It is advised one can worship the chant the name. There is one institution which is in a Pune. They are chanting that Om Vishwa Devatayai Namaha or something like that. But where is the form? We are looking for some form. We are looking for the Lord. Whenever we see Lord Krishna, we are having the Archa Vigrahas in our temple. The form is there and we can dress that. How we can dress the Vishwarupa? There is no connection. How we can serve the Vishwarupa? There is no connection. We can just remember that, okay, Vishwarupa. But how we can serve the Vishwarupa then? So that's why there is a differences for the devotees. We can just see, hear, glorify the Vishwarupa, where the Lord's greatness is there. That's all. But there is no connectivity in the service with the Vishwarupa. How we can do?
Thank you, Prabhuji. This helps me because as I grew up, I understood Vishwarupam is something much grand or much great. That is the understanding, general understanding that I grew up or that is prevalent, I think. But this really helps me, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, also I think in Deepa here, also I think in Bhagavatam 4th canto, it also describes that the Vishwarupam is actually a material manifestation, and rest all forms of Vishnu are actually from the spiritual manifestation. I remember reading, but I can't recollect whether it is the 4th canto, because I just started that, and or whether it was in Bhagavad Gita, but I read it. That this is a material manifestation completely, the Vishwarupam, with all the material elements. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
that's why
see, Krishna is having two Shaktis, the internal, like the spiritual and the material. And with the material energy, the Vishwarupa form is mentioned. So this is whatever we are seeing the universes, that is the Vishwarupa of the Lord, which is a temporary form. It is not there in the spiritual world at all. This form is not there in the spiritual world. Even the Paramatma is not there in the spiritual world. What to speak about the Vishwarupa? The Paramatma is not there in the Vishwarupa. This form is not there. The Paramatma is, the form is not there. Those who are worshipping the Brahman, Brahmajyoti, where they are going maximum, they are going to the Brahman. They are going to the Brahmajyoti. They are not going to the abode of the Lord, but they are going in the area where the Krishna's, the bodily light is there. So
spiritual sky only, no, Prabhuji? The Brahman Paramatma.
It is a spiritual sky, but it is in a periphery only.
Yeah, but it is out of the material.
It is out of material. It is out of material. And the Brahmavadi,
they don't have any risk of falling back, Prabhuji. Like if you reach the Brahman and the spiritual sky, they don't have a risk of falling back into the material.
Yeah. It is like there is a misconception about the Brahmavadis. This shloka, I forgot the shloka, but their Patanti Adha, that it talks about the Patanti Adha. That the Patanti Adha is I forgot how it starts. That is for the Mayavadis, or those who are having the impersonal understanding over the Lord. Even if they are going to the Brahma Jyotis, but those who are having the impersonal understanding of the Lord or something like that, they are more criticizing over the Lord and his form, but they are more into the Brahman, and only the Brahman is the supreme. So that people falls down. But those who are having only like they are understanding and they are not criticizing the like the Bhagwan aspect of the Lord, they will not fall down from the Brahma Jyoti. Everybody don't fall down from the Brahma Jyoti. It is the spiritual realm only.
Somebody who can reach the spiritual sky but criticizes the form of Lord can fall down.
Yeah.
And those who do not criticize, they will remain there. Is that?
Yeah. Yes. But some people are having the understanding that the Mayavadis goes there. No, the Mayavadis are the Krishna Aparadhis. They don't go at all. Mayavadis and the Brahmavadis, there is a gulf of difference. The Brahmavadis, those who are understanding that the light of the Lord's body, and they are worshipping that is they are going there, but they have not done any aparadha towards or while reaching there. But there is no, but in a Brahma Jyoti there is one thing, that they are not having the services there. They will be just be reciting without any service. By that, and unless one devotee goes there and like the Narad Muni and all, they will not be having any chance to go back to God. So that is their position. They are just sitting in ideals, sitting in like the Brahman area, the Brahma Jyoti area. No service. Only neutrality is there. Only neutrality. Though no negativity, no positivity, only in a neutral state they are there.
So Prabhuji, are you saying that the Mayavadis doesn't even go to Brahma Jyoti?
They are going into the dark, deep well of the hell.
Who they think that they themselves are gods, or Mayavadis?
They are considering that I am God, you are God, Soham, I am that. These are the people, those who are talking, or they are saying that the Lord's form is a Maya. Lord is not having a form. The Brahmavadis thinks that the Lord may be having a form, but we are not attracted towards the form of the Lord. We are attracted towards the Jyoti of the Lord. So they are not aparadhis, but they are having the understanding that okay, they might be knowing that the Lord is having the form, but they are more attracted towards the Jyoti of the Lord. But this Mayavadis, they are the Krishna aparadhis, so they are not going at all. They are in a deep, dark well of the hell. Hare Krishna.
Got it, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Text 8. Natumam shakyase drashtum.
Natumam
shakyase drashtum.
Aneneva swachakshusha. Divyam dadami te chakshu. Pashya me yoga aishwaryam. Please go on reading this.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. Divyam Chakshu, divine eyes. The Acharyas make so very interesting point about this. Arjuna was seeing Krishna in his two-armed form and understanding Krishna's position as the most all-attractive supreme personality of Godhead. So he needed spiritual vision to see Krishna's position. Krishna is going to show Arjuna his universal form. Which is higher, the universal form or Krishna's two-armed most beautiful form? Since Krishna's two-armed form is higher, so why Krishna had to give Arjuna divine eyes to see something that is lower? Arjuna already had, in fact, divine eyes. The explanation the acharyas give is that this divyam chakshu also means heavenly vision. Heavenly means higher materially, but away lower than spiritual. Because Arjuna had spiritual vision as Krishna's eternal associate, Krishna gave him heavenly vision, material vision, so Arjuna could see the universal form. Krishna gave him the vision of a demigod. Otherwise, Arjuna wouldn't show any interest. Like Mother Yashoda, she had prema eyes. When Krishna showed her his universal form, she didn't show any interest. Similarly, Arjuna wouldn't be interested. Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport, a pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with the two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind, but with spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjuna is told not to change his mind, but his vision. The universal form of Krishna is not very important. That will be clear in subsequent verses. Yet, because Arjuna wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see that universal form. And then the fact is that the devotee is not concerned with seeing the Vishwarupa, the universal form, but Arjuna wanted to see it to substantiate Krishna's statements so that in the future people could understand that Krishna not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as the supreme, but actually presented himself as such to Arjuna. Arjuna must confirm this because Arjuna is the beginning of the parampara system. Those who are actually interested in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and who follow in the footsteps of Arjuna should understand that Krishna not only theoretically presented himself as the Supreme, actually revealed himself as the Supreme. The Lord gave Arjuna the necessary power to see his universal form because he knew that Arjuna did not particularly want to see it, as we have already explained. In his purport to verse 8, Srila Prabhupada confirms that the attainment of divine vision was not a symptom of Arjuna's advancement. A pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind, but with spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjuna is told not to change his mind, but his vision. The universal form of Krishna is not very important. That will be clear in subsequent verses. Yet, because Arjuna wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see that universal form. Devotees who are correctly situated in a transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by a godless display of opulences. Up until now, the Lord only spoke about the universal form. In the next verse, he bestows divine eyes to Arjuna, who is thus able to see that form. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So here the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that it is not that then the question was there that Arjuna was already seeing the Krishna, the 200 form, the sweet form of the Lord, and then why he requires a vision. Then he again further says that it is like Arjuna was having the spiritual vision. Now he needs to have some material vision where Mother Yashoda was not appreciating the Lord's Vishwarup because she was having the Prema Chakshu, and then Arjuna will also not appreciate it. So that's why he gave the vision of the demigods. And Prabhupada says that the vision doesn't have to change, the attitude has to be changed like that. Verses 9 to 30. Sanjaya's description of the universal form. Sanjay describes how Krishna bestows upon Arjuna the necessary vision upon Arjuna. Arjuna then beholds Krishna's universal form with the expansions divided into many thousands, all those situated in one place. He sees its unlimited mouths with eyes decorated with dazzling ornaments, garlands, scents, and garments, all magnificently effulgent like 1,000 suns. Up to this point, Arjuna has been receiving only Krishna's words, but now with the Divyam Chakshus, he will start to see that universal form. Now, Sanjay will be describing the universal form because Arjuna is seeing that. And Sanjay is also seeing that. This shloka. Sanjay Vacha.
Sanjay Vacha.
Evam yuktva tato rajan. Mahayogeshwaro Hari.
Mahayogeshwaro Hari.
Darshayam asaparthaya.
Darshayam asaparthaya.
Paramam Rupam Aishwaryam.
Aishwaryam.
So on reading the translation.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the Supreme Lord of all mystic powers, the personality of Godhead, displays his universal form to Arjuna. Now at this point, Sanjaya is describing what Arjuna saw.
Yeah, so now the Sanjay will be started describing this what Arjuna saw. Aneka Vaktra Nayanam.
Nayanam.
Anekadbhuta Darshanam.
Anekabhuta darshanam.
Aneka Divya Bharanam.
Anekadibharanam.
Divyanekodayadnubhavam. Divyamalayam Baradharam. Divyagandhanulepanam.
Divyagandhanulepanam.
Sarvascharyamayam Devam.
Sarvascharyammayam Devam.
Anantam Vishwato Mukham.
Anantam Vishwato Mukham.
Please read the translation.
Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding.
So many heads, so many garlands, so many ornaments, so many garments. What was that? What was the beauty of that vision? Wow. So some of them were the blackish, some of them were the white in different colors, and some incarnations, demigods, so many in one form. How they must be looking. Text 12. Divisurya Sahasrasya.
Divisurya Sahasrasya.
Bhavet Yugapada Uttita. Yadibhas Sadrishi Yadibhas Sadrishi Sasyad. Asastasya Mahatmana. Translation.
If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. Because the magnanimity or the greatness of the universal form was so wondrous and brilliant, unlimiting, all expanding, it is impossible to conceive of something like that. Here, an example is given to give us some idea of the radiance of this form. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky.
Yeah, please go on.
The form now visible to Arjuna is full of unlimited, wonderful features. It is brilliant, wondrous, unlimited, and all expanding. Arjuna sees in that brilliant form, which is more radiant than thousands of suns, unlimited expansions of the universes situated in one place.
So thousands of sun, the radiance, how ordinary eye can tolerate it. So that requires divya vision. That requires a mercy. Thousands of suns are rising, and the radiance of that thousands of sun, how one can tolerate with this eyes. Tatrekastham jagat krishnam
Tatraikastham jagat krishnam
pravibhaktam anekada
Vibhaktamanekada
apashyad deva devasya
apashyat
Shyam Deva
devasya
Devasya
sharire pandavastada.
sharire pandavastada.
At that time, Arjuna could see the universal form of the Lord, the unlimited expansions of the universe, situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. Arjuna saw all the different universes with many sizes and many ingredients, all in one place and also in their own separate existence. Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport to verse 13. The word Tatra there is very significant. It indicates both Arjuna and Krishna were sitting on the chariot when Arjuna saw the universal form. Others on the battlefield could not see this form because Krishna gave the vision only to Arjuna. Arjuna could see in the body of Krishna many thousands of planets, but no one could understand what was going on between Arjuna and Krishna. Krishna's universal form of opulences. Arjuna with hair standing on end, bewildered and astonished prays, My dear Krishna, I see all demigods, sages, and serpents within your fiery form. You are the all-pervading, eternal personality of Godhead. The sun and the moon are eyes, and your glory is unlimited. You are burning the universe by your radiance. 14:19.
So the next section is 14 to 19. Arjuna is his hair is standing on end, and he is somewhat bewildered and astonished. Since he was the Kshatriya, he was not fearful that much, but it was fearfulness also was expressed by him that please, I cannot behold this form right now. Please be as usual, as normal. So he will be explaining that afterwards, that he will be telling to Krishna that please, I cannot now see this form. It is somewhat ghastly. So here only Arjuna was seeing, and it was not that Krishna expanded his body and showed the universal form. If such things was happening, then everybody could have seen that form. But it was not that Krishna was expanding and saying that, see now my form. Krishna was there, Arjuna was there on the chariot, and on chariot they saw like Arjuna saw the universal form. So like the chariot, the horses were not saying that we cannot bear the burden of so many personalities. It was been seen internally. It was been seen internally. Krishna showed it not to everyone, but to only Arjuna. So it was a private Zoom meeting. It was a private meeting, not for everyone. Tata sa vismito Roma Dhananjaya Pranamya Shirsha Devam Kritnaglir Abhastata. Sorry, Kritnaglir Abhasata.
Abhasata.
Yes. Translation.
Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Now, Arjuna is seeing what previously he had heard about. He was astonished and bewildered, but because he is a great Kshatriya, he did not run away. But still, he put his head down in great astonishment and bewilderment. All the primary rasas and all, for except one, of the secondary rasas will be exhibited in this chapter to Arjuna.
Okay. Primary rasas will be exhibited. What are the primary rasas? Yeah, somebody would like to give a try. What are the primary rasas?
Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya.
Yeah. Yes. Pashyami devam stava deva dehe.
Pashyami devam tava devi
Sarvam statha bhuta vishesha sanghan.
Sarvam Satha Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan.
Brahmanam isha kamalasana sorry, Brahmanam isha kamalasana
Brahmana Isham
Brahmanam
Rashim sarvam ugram sadivyam.
Rishim
Sarvam Ugram
Arjuna said, my dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine servants. So what Arjuna was seeing, this he is mentioning about. Aneka bahudara vaktra netram.
Aneka bahudara vaktra netram.
Pashyami tvam sarvato nantarupam.
Pashyami tvam sarvato anantarupam.
Nantam nasmat nantam na madhyam na punastavadim.
Nantam na madhyam na punastavadim.
Pashyami Vishveshwara Vishwarupa.
Pashyami Vishvara Vishwarupa.
O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes, expanded everywhere without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning. Kirtinam Gadinam Chakrinam Cha.
Kirtinam Gadinam
Gadinam Chakrinam Cha.
Tejo Rasim Sarvatam Diptimantam.
Tejo Rasim Diptimantam.
Pashyami Tvam Durtin Kshayam Samnat. Pashyami Tvam Durnikshayam Samnatad.
Pashyami Durnikshayam Samantad.
Diptar Laka Duyitim Apremeyam.
Diptim Nalaka Aprameyam.
Your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence spreading on all sides, like blazing fire or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing form everywhere, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs. It is immeasurable, but it has some specific elements that we should note what this universal form is. First, it is immeasurable. It has a great radiance. Everything is situated in one place. All the universes, the demigods, etc. Everything in one place. These are at this point the main qualities of the universal form. Now in the next verse 4, Arjuna is going to try to describe the immeasurable. Twamaksharam paramam veditvayam.
Twamaksharam paramam veditavyam.
Twamasya vishwasya paramam. Twamasya vishwasya param nidhanam.
Twamasya vishwasya param nidhanam.
Twamavyaya shashvata dharma gopta.
Twamavyaya shashvata dharma gopta.
Sanatanasvam purusho mato me.
Sanatanastvam Purusho
mato me.
Somebody can read the translation.
You are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all the universe. You are inexhaustible, and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. Hare Krishna.
So this is just a description of the universal form. There is no such explanation required for this. Anadi madhyantam ananta viryam.
Anadi madhyantam ananta viryam.
Ananta bahum shashi surya netram.
Ananta Bahum Shashi Surya Netram.
Pashyami tvam dipta huta vaktram.
Pashyami
tvam hudasa vaktram.
Swatejas vishwam idam tapantam.
Swatejas
Vishwam taptam tapantam.
Translation.
You are without origin.
Please continue.
You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. Then, bewildered and astonished, Arjuna offers his obeisances and begins praying to Krishna. Arjuna sees in that form all the living entities, including the great demigods. He states that the Lord is the supreme objective, ultimate resting place of the universe, the inexhaustible, the oldest, the maintainer of the eternal religion, and the personality of Godhead. According to Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, with his statement in verse 18, Arjuna proves that he has the qualification to see the form of Krishna as time. This form is described in verse 19 to 30. Arjuna sees the Lord burning the entire creation with his radiance. Blazing fire spews out his mouth. Seeing that form, all the planetary systems are disturbed. All the demigods surrender and offer prayers to him. Arjuna is filled with fears as he sees that all those on the battlefield are rushing into his fearful mouth.
So, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, with his statement in the verse 18 now, Arjuna proves that he has the qualification to see the form of Krishna as a time. So, what was his qualification? What was his qualification? You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and the moon, and I see you with blazing fire coming in forth. So, what was the qualification?
Bhaktosma Sakachati.
So, the Shloka 18, you are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are the inexhaustible, and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of God. This is my opinion. So he is knowing that this, you are the resting place of everything, and you are the oldest. So the Arjuna has already glorified in the 10th chapter only. What was his glorification? That Asito Devala Vyasa Swayam Cheva Bravishime. That he has mentioned that I am not only saying, but many other rishis are also saying that. So that again he is speaking that you are inexhaustible, you are the oldest. So that by that the Arjuna was knowing that the Krishna is the oldest, Krishna is having these qualities, and Krishna can manifest many things. What to speak about this universal form, but Krishna has done many other things also. So that way, the glorification for the Krishna, he was realizing right now, but he has sufficiently glorified Krishna well back. So that way, the qualification is there, because Krishna, what he is showing, it was been spoken Arjuna, and it was admitted by Arjuna. So that was the qualification for the Arjuna. Or else the Duryodhana, he doubted over Krishna that it is a Maya form he has created. But Arjuna never doubted. He was appreciating, admitting that this form is real. So third section, Krishna's Kala Rupa form of this time. Arjuna prays, seeing this fearful form and beholding the confusion of the entire universes, including the demigods, I too am frightened. All the soldiers on both sides rush towards your death-like face with their blazing mouths and awful teeth. Your blazing effulgence is devouring the world. What is your mission? Who are you? Now Arjuna is somewhat fearful, and what is the mission of this universal form? Then afterwards he will be saying that stop it now. I don't want to see. I feel we are having sufficient time, so we will be taking 2-3 shlokas more, or else we would like to stop it here. The next section is starting, so better we can stop it here. 20 to 31 we will be taking next time, or more than that also we will be taking this 20 to 40 we will be covered the next time, and the next section we will be ending up this chapter only. So till Wednesday the chapter will be over, and then Friday, Monday, and Wednesday we will be taking the 12th chapter, and if it requires, then we will be go for the whole summary of this whole section on next Friday, like that. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
I have one question.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vidhanand Pranam.
Yes. Mataji, please ask the question.
Yeah, Prabhuji, here, just to keep it short, here in each and every part, it's been explaining that Arjuna is proving his qualification. That's the reason he has given divine eyes to see the Virat Rupa, right? Then how can we give justification for Sanjaya, how he is able to see the Virat Rupa, and because like now Arjuna is having the qualification, we are able to prove it, but how to give the justification for Sanjaya?
Sanjay got the vision through the Veda Vyas. And
Yes.
Veda Vyas is the scriptural incarnation of the Lord only. The scriptural incarnation of the Lord. He is the literally incarnation of the Lord, or the literature incarnation of the Lord. So like, no, the literature incarnation of the Lord is the Bhagavatam only. But he is the writer of this, or the composer of this literature, not the writer. He is the composer, no, not the composer, compiler of this whole literature. So that's why it is like the Vedavyas is not an ordinary person. The Vedavyas can have this rights to give this.
So Vedavyas has seen the qualification of Sanjaya Prabhuji.
Yeah, the Sanjay is also no less. Sanjay, what he is ending up with the shlokas, where the Gita is ending. The Sanjay is speaking about the Krishna and Arjuna's glory, mouthful glorification, and Sanjay is not at all in taking the side of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra party. He was always glorifying the Pandavas and Krishna. Wherever he got a chance, he glorified it. So that is a qualification. He was a devotee. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vijay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dandot pranams.
ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ನಾಳಿದ್ದು ಅಣ್ಣನ ಮದುವೆ ಇದೆ